Hi Sagittarius, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot readings from the heart. So we're going to do your week ahead reading. This is your week ahead from 18th to the 24th of March 2019. You've also got a month ahead, your April reading up, sitting alongside this. So if you want to view what's going on in April as well, potentially for some of you guys, and you can have a look there. We're doing this more in the kind of conversational style, less predictive, more conversational. There will be predictive stuff coming in though. I'm using the Rider-Waite for that. Usually just doing sort of a 5-card reading after the main reading here for the week, okay? I think tarot should be served as a tool that helps people more than anything, rather than kind of just throwing a hell of a lot more stuff, you know, a hell of a lot of stuff at them. If this is going to happen, it's good just to kind of maybe talk about stuff a little bit through the tarot, which is the direction that really my readings certainly kind of veer towards, if you know, that I like them to veer towards. We're using the Next World Tarot. I think I said in the last reading that I wasn't keen on this deck, but I actually really like it now, and we're going to just pull one card from here and sort of, you know, ask the universe what they, you know, what is it that you need to focus on this week. And then we're going to kind of get the story around the cards with the Druid Tarot deck, okay? And finally we're going to just get some further advice for the week from the Tea Leaf Fortune cards, okay, in 3 cards. Great. Okay, let's make a start and let's see what Sagittarius needs to focus on this week. Universe Spirit, what is it that Sagittarius needs to focus on this week? Between the 18th and the 24th of March 2019, what does Sagittarius need to focus on? Whoops. Today's, you can't tell, there's too many cards showing up here. What is it that Saggies need to focus on? What do they need to focus on? What is the one thing that they really need to focus on? Well, not the one thing, but what is the energy that they need to focus on between the 18th and the 24th of March 2019? Show me. Okay. What is it you need to focus on? You need to focus on, oh wow, 4 of coins. Okay, now, you know, it's funny because on this deck, I do like this deck, but I think sometimes you get so bound up in the traditional way of looking at these cards. Usually 4 of coins is a guy that's sitting on all these coins. You know, he's the card, you know, coins mean greed. 4 of coins. 4 of coins means to save your money. 4 of coins can mean of little value, or it can mean that you value the material over everything else. But I feel that, you know, when I look at this particular deck, this 4 of coins reminds me of somebody who really loves her music. So this reminds me of somebody who really values something when I look at this particular 4 of coins. And I feel that what you need to focus on, Sagittarius, is what you value. And I think that you need to... Also, the 4 of coins in a way reminds me of the Queen of Coins, because usually on the 4 of coins, he's holding those pentacles so dear to his heart. And I just get a sense of freedom when I look at this particular picture. Because I read, you know, when you buy different decks or have as many decks as I do, you want to be reading those decks differently. You don't, if you know, people say, well, if I get, you know, different decks, do I read all the cards the same? Do I read them all the same? No, I would never advise that, because some cards are telling you something entirely different than another card. So I'd always advise, if you've got different decks, read the decks differently. Especially, you don't have to do it, but especially if the picture is jumping out at you and it's saying something different to what maybe a traditional 4 of coins or whatever would say, read it in that way. So my eye is catching this person, and she's a musician. She's got her earphones on, she's got the 2 pentacles, it's like they're like turnstiles here, and she's got like a tape machine here where she can hear stuff and record stuff. So to me, this is someone who is really kind of valuing, you know, I don't know what arsenal means, but she's got a lot of stuff in her arsenal, you know. She looks like she also hoards a lot of stuff as well. So it might be actually that this isn't about just valuing things. This might be that she hoards because she's got a lot of stuff in her arsenal. You know, and I suppose, you know, when the saying goes, you've got a lot of stuff in your arsenal, you've got a lot of stuff in your corner. You know, so it depends on how you want to read this 4 of coins. I'm not going to read it in the traditional way. I think on the one hand, some of you guys need to value a little bit more the things that you have, more than anything. I think that if there are things that you care about in your life, if there are things that you are of value to you, whether these are things that are material or whether these are things that are human, you need to think about it. Because with the 4 of coins, sometimes this is somebody who only values people in terms of a material way. So this is the man that values a woman because she's pretty, or because she's got long legs, or because all his friends like her, or because she's kind of the belle of the ball. That's the type of 4 of coins value we look at. But I feel that really looking at these cards, it's this, and when it says the word arsenal, I think that you've got a lot in your arsenal. Sagittarius. So you really need to value the stuff that you have, because a lot of stuff that you have is very, very valuable and could be very, very valuable, and I think could be really, really useful to you with that Four of Coins energy showing there. Okay, this looks like it looks nice. It looks like you're hoarding a lot of stuff, but it looks like all the stuff that she hoards really does come in useful. It's really everything that she's got there. It looks like it's of value, and the Four of Coins is all about keeping things safe. So this is about treasuring the things that you have. So I get the impression that this week, Sagittarius, you need to focus on treasuring the things that you have. All right, just treasuring them, treating them really well, whether it's a human being or whether it's a, it's an item of clothing or whether it's a product. You need to really focus on taking care of stuff and treasuring the things that you have. Let's have a look at what the past of this situation is for some of you Saggies. As I've said, the focus for the week, I think I'm going to put it down to treasuring the things and valuing the things that you have with this Four of Coins energy showing up. Because in the past, there was a King of Pentacles, and some of you guys, this might be a person here. All right, King of Pentacles there could have been a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn individual that you were involved with, Sagittarius, with this King of Coins energy showing here. Or this could be the King of Coins is not just a person, this is accomplishment, but there's a person showing up, and you got two more cards showing out here. I feel that it ended, and I feel that you guys have been really hurt and really angry about that. It looks like we're going back on the same fucking thing that we looked at last week. You got death showing here. So this person either left with the King of Swords and the death energy. Something ended around a person. You got the Queen of Swords in the reverse showing as a result of that. A great deal of anger, hurt with the Queen of Swords. For some of you guys, even a great deal of hatred towards this individual. I mean, it's all very well and good to have the Queen of Swords in the upright, because, yeah, she does get hurt, all right? And, with the Queen of Swords energy, when she's upright and she's showing her back to another card, she's cancelling it out. So some of you, if this has been upright, then maybe some of you guys wouldn't have accepted an ending with an individual. But I feel that you have accepted an ending, and this is why I feel that with this Queen of Swords in the reverse, there's a lot of hate that comes. I'm not saying that you hate, I don't want to use that word, I don't want to say anybody hates anyone. But I feel that you guys with this Queen of Swords, at least in the reverse, are extraordinarily angry and upset, because that's what she is when she's reversed. She is, I'm not saying that you're spiteful, but she goes to the spectrum of spitefulness and being just really nasty and really angry, and she internalises a hell of a lot of pain. If you think about the Queen of Swords in the upright, she does a lot of self-talk. So she's a counsellor within the tarot, who's the Queen of Swords, she's a nurse. So this woman often it's like if I've been through a breakup with someone, 2 years ago, I think this was somebody that entered in my life, and there was a breakup there, and I wasn't angry with him, but I was more kind of like, what I've been through, yet you came in to disturb my peace. So I had to do with the Queen of Swords and the upright a lot of self-talk. I had to talk myself through the situation. I did my tarot on it. I worked myself. I cleared out the energies using my tarot cards, all the rest of it, and I'm fine. 2 years on, I'm great. Obviously, there's nothing there, and it was all gone. It's finished. He was not a soulmate. He wasn't anything. So you're able to clear the energies sometimes. Even though she's a hurt woman in the upright, she's able to clear the energies through talking to people or through talking to herself. In the reverse, this is all about internalising the pain. So I feel that something ended with an individual here. And I feel that, and also this is your safe haven. So the focus this week, but I think that this is, because the Four of Coins can also mean to protect oneself, putting one's guard up and using somewhere as a place where you can kind of block the whole world out. But I don't think you should be focusing on this card in that way, because nobody wants to do that. I think you need to focus on treasuring something here, on something that you have, because I think you did have a breakup with somebody in the past here, Sagittarius, and I feel that you have internalised a lot of pain here with this Queen of Swords in the reverse. I think there's a lot of pain that you guys have internalised, and I feel that right now, in terms of this situation, how are you guys kind of feeling? So right now you're feeling like the Eight of Swords, which is lovely, reversed. Okay, so right now some of you guys are starting to kind of release yourself. Eight of Swords reverse means to release yourself from pain. All right, it means to release yourself from a blockage. It means to release yourself from a prison, okay? A prison of hurt, a prison of depression. Eight of Swords reverse means being able to finally see the light when you're the Eight of Swords in the reverse. You're finally starting to see the light. You're finally starting to see the truth in the matter with the Eight of Swords in the reverse. And I feel that you're allowing your intuition with that moon energy to guide you. I also feel that you're starting to see very clearly with this Eight of Swords in the reverse that this relationship was probably just an illusion. because the moon represents an illusion. If you get the moon and the Two of Cups, two people can be blinded by the illusion in their relationship. They stay together, but it's all an illusion. It's all a mirage. So some of you guys are seeing very clearly with this moon energy that this whole thing was an illusion. Okay, and you're allowing that intuition to guide you. So I think that you're starting to see, and this is why the focus needs to be on the Four of Coins, value, treasuring the things that you have. Because sometimes when we break up with people and we're still caught up in that kind of haze of shit, that relationship is no longer there anymore. We lose value. We don't care anymore. You know, all the clothing that we have, all the nice makeup, all the things, all the friends, all the family, we no longer treasure things anymore because we're still caught up into the haze of the Queen of Swords in the reverse. We're still internalizing a lot of hate. And when you internalize hate and you internalize depression and sadness with that Queen of Swords in the reverse, you don't see anything else but that. But because you guys are now starting to see quite clearly with the Eight of Swords in the reverse that this situation was all kind of like one big illusion, it was all one big fake with that, you know, you're starting to see clearly that this was one big illusion. I feel that now you are standing, you're able to rise above it with the Seven of Wands energy here. You're feeling stronger. You've got the courage now to face this situation down, to call it out, to tell it, you know, to speak about it for what it is, which is actually, this looks far better than what we were seeing in last week's reading for some of you Sagittarians. I feel that you've got the courage now with that Seven of Wands energy to face this situation down, okay? To block out for some of you guys the deceiver, because some of you guys are realizing that you can see very clearly that there has been a deception here. Moon means deception, and the Eight of Swords reverse is seeing it clearly. So some of you guys are actually seeing very clearly that there has been a deception here, okay? And because of that, you're now able to face down and stare very squarely in the face with that Seven of Wands energy that this person, I mean, this Seven of Swords doesn't necessarily show a deceiver, but it shows somebody who had a strategy plan. You're seeing very clearly, you're able to face down somebody who really kind of wanted, well, this is about escape. He's not running though. He's putting a strategy into place. So you're starting to see the person's strategy. You're actually looking it straight in the face with that Seven of Wands. So you're seeing very clearly here with the Eight of Swords that this person, you're seeing the illusion. You're seeing that this person was deceiving you. You're seeing very clearly what the deception was. You're being able to stare down, stare squarely in the face. This person who had a strategy all along with the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is also about somebody who's a strategist. So you can see very clearly that somebody had a strategy. And what was this person's strategy, universe? What was this person's strategy? Yeah, there you go. To walk away, the Eight of Cups. They had a strategy, stay for a bit and then do one. They never really intended to stay. This individual didn't. But also the Eight of Cups means to emotionally detach themselves. So their strategy, you can now look squarely in the face with that Seven of Wands energy. This person, you can look squarely in the face at somebody's strategy. You can see them for what they are. You're facing down the strategist. You're not afraid to look them in the eye and say, I see that you had a strategy, and your strategy was to get what you wanted and then fuck off afterwards. You had no intention of standing around. And this is the beauty of this reading, because even though in the past this person, and the strategist is the King of Coins. So even though this person left, okay, and you guys internalized a lot of pain concerning this situation, Sagittarians, you're seeing very clearly now that this was a deception. So where you are now is you're saying, yeah, I have been hurt and I did internalise a lot of pain. I didn't want to see family. I didn't want to see friends. I didn't want to know anything about anyone because all I could see was my pain. But now I feel that for some of you guys, it will be a case of, but I'm seeing clearly now that this person was a deceiver. There was a deception going on here. And now I can truly face down the strategist. I can truly look this strategist, look the person in the face. I can truly, I can truly face up to, because he's facing up to something, the Seven of Wands, guys. I can truly face up to the fact that this person, it was all a strategy. And that strategy was they had no intention of staying around for the long term. This was a short-term relationship probably for this individual. And I think that some of you guys are recognising that. Now, going forward into the week, the universe is saying around this situation, and what you need to do now is to the High Priestess energy, okay? I feel that number one, you guys need to get in touch with your intuition a little bit more. I think you need to do some meditation with that High Priestess energy. I feel that if there are books that you haven't read in a while, Sagittarius, or if there are things that you haven't looked at in a while, it's wise to kind of start conjuring and manifesting those things up again with that High Priestess energy showing there, because that's what you need to do. You need to also give praise, because you are now able to see what you couldn't see before with the High Priestess energy showing there, you know. And Justice energy. I feel that, you know, with the High Priestess energy, what you need to do with this High Priestess is you need to kind of tap into the things that you haven't tapped into for a long time, because I feel that this is going to bring you great rewards with the Justice energy showing there. High Priestesses are not just about tapping into intuition. You've already tapped into your intuition. You already know what the fuck's going on here. You can already see it for what it is, Sagittarius. So therefore, the High Priestess, we don't need to go back to the intuition stuff. What we need to say, because the High Priestess is kind of like, she's an oracle of knowledge. She's got loads of knowledge. Loads. If you want to know anything about anything, go to the High Priestess, because she'll be able to tell you. She'll be able to tell you all of the information that you need. So what you need to do now in the week is you need to tap in to all of those spiritual resources that you're holding on to. Okay, and the Justice card can say, well, if you tap into those spiritual resources, when I say spiritual resources, because the High Priestess is spiritual and she has a lot of resources, so you need to tap into all of those spiritual resources. For some of you guys, it's going to be very rewarding. The spiritual resource could be meditation, for example. It could be getting a massage, for example. Okay, it might simply be in prayer, for example, but you need to tap into those spiritual resources that are easily available to you from the universe. Now the universe can see that you know what the universe knows. Now the universe sees that you are unblocking shit. That's why you are now ready to tap into this spiritual resource, okay? And, you know, that spiritual resource is going to allow you with the Justice energy to bring this situation to a close, to finally settle, because justice means settlement. So you need to tap into all the spiritual resources that you have now. Now that your spiritual resources, now that you've unblocked all of this energy that you felt with the Queen of Swords in the reverse, you're able to tap into that spiritual resource of knowledge with the High Priestess. And the knowledge with the High Priestess comes when you can settle and shut this situation down with the Justice energy. Also, for some of you guys, doing meditation, that type of thing is going to bring a great deal of rewards to you with the Justice energy showing here, okay? I feel that you've got the Nine of Swords here, so you're closing down. Finally, you are closing down the Nine of Swords, the worry, the sleepless nights. Because justice is all about settlement. It's bringing things to a close, okay? So finally, you're accepting something here, okay? You're accepting. You are closing down all of the worry that you've been experiencing here, Sagittarius. Because some of you guys, you've been this. Nine of Swords is basically the Queen of Swords reversed. This is somebody who's terribly, terribly anxious, terribly, terribly depressed. Internalizes so much, cannot talk, cannot express. But with the High Priestess, you're able to tap into a higher power now, okay? And that higher power is going to basically cleanse you and heal you with the Justice energy of all of those worries. So you need to tap into your higher power. That's when I talk about spiritual resources. It's about tapping into that higher power. The power of meditation, the power of rest. Okay? The power of prayer. All of these things need to be tapped into. And that's why the focus for you guys needs to be on what you've got in your arsenal. The Four of Coins is what you've got. What is it that you value the most? You need to focus on what you value the most. During the next 7 days between the 18th and the 24th of March 2019. What is it you value the most? Because you need to tap into that. Is it music that you value the most? You know, your spiritual resources, tapping into the higher power could be music. What is your higher power? What brings you to a place of completion? What helps you to settle all of those worries? Is it music that you like? Is it meditation that you like? Is it going to see a film that you like? It's anything that can raise your vibration, because the High Priestess is basically raising her vibration on this card. Tapping into those spiritual resources. Raising your vibration, and that's what you need to focus on, because when you raise your vibration with the High Priestess, you're tapping into those spiritual resources that the universe is giving to you. You're able to settle, justice is settlement, the worries and the fears that you've had all along, because you're at that point now where you can do it. And you can. You can, because the key point is that you guys, though in the past, somebody left or you left them, King of Coins, and you have internalized a lot of pain, but right now you guys are saying, actually, I see very clearly with the Eight of Swords reversed that this was one long fucking con. Moon. Okay? And I'm able to face up to the fact that this person had a strategy, and that was to get what they wanted and then fuck off and walk away. But you know what? Going forward, the universe says, brilliant, you get it, you understand it, you know it, you don't have to do this anymore. You can do this now. By tapping into your spiritual resources, your arsenal of spiritual resources, by raising your vibration, by giving thanks to God, universe, whatever you want to call it. Raise those vibrations, because when you raise your vibrations, you're going to be able to settle all of this worry, all of this nervousness. You'll settle it. You'll close it down. Because you're at the point now where you're facing up to the truth. And when you face up to the truth, that is most of the battle won. So for this week, guys, the focus needs to be on valuing the things that you have. Whether it's the spiritual work that you're doing, whether it's the music that you listen to, whether it's the film that you go and see, whether it's the family that you spend time with, whether it's the clothes that you have, the makeup, the food, whatever it is that makes you feel happy. Value it, nourish yourself with it. It's okay to do that, because you're not doing it now in a place of feeling depressed and feeling an internalization of pain. You're doing it from a place of knowledge and awareness with the Eight of Swords. And when you're doing stuff like this, you're kind of bunking down a little bit with the Four of Coins, and you're spending a bit of time to yourself, and you're kind of just, burying down the hatches and all the rest of it. I think that's how you say it. When you do that, when you really just sort of go inward, because you fancy just spending some time on your own, listening to music, whatever it is, when you're doing it from the perspective of, you're not doing it because you're depressed, you're doing it because you're saying, you know what, I feel really good now, I'm just going to take some time on my own. It's perfectly fine to do that. So it's a week to spend time on your own, but you're doing it and valuing the things around you and valuing your own space and that type of thing, which is what the Four of Coins can do as well. It's a week to do that. And I find that if you do that this week, you can do that this week. It's okay to do that, because you're at a place where you're not doing it from a negative space. You're doing it from a very positive one. Let's have a look at any further information for the week. In 5 cards, any further information coming in? Is there any predictive energies coming in for Sagittarius this week in 5 cards? Let's have a look. 6 of Swords, you could be travelling this week. Some of you guys might be going on holiday overseas. Somebody might be asking you for support, or you might have to steer somebody in the right direction with the 6 of Swords energy, okay? You've got a King of Cups showing up here. So you might be travelling. It could be you're travelling with a friend, for example, or you're going to see a friend, for example. It might be that somebody also is starting to... the King of Cups is all about our emotions, but this is a person, all right? And some of you guys are actually moving on. You can see that the 6 of Swords guy is kind of moving in the other direction from this individual. So Sagittarius, some of you guys are moving on from an individual, I think, this week as well. You're moving in a completely different direction, all right? There's 2 people around you. You've got a King of Cups and a King of Coins, and that King of Coins showed up in this fucking reading as well. Isn't that funny? 2 people, 2 males, potentially, for some of you Sagittarians involved in a mix. Some of you guys moving on from a couple of people here. 6 of Swords is moving in the other direction of the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So some of you guys moving on from a King of Cups, King of Pentacles. Some of you guys encountering, because you can be encountering with the 6 of Swords. Might be some of you guys are encountering a couple of people. If it's this King of Coins, it might be the person that left. Potentially, who knows. Chariot, I am seeing travel. A lot of travel. You got a 6 of Swords and the Chariot. These are travel cards. So I'm seeing travelling. And around that travel, there are 2 men. 1 water sign, 1 earth sign potentially involved in that travel. All right, but you've got the 5 of Cups. So I'm seeing you guys finally overcoming some loss as well this week, because the Chariot is all about overcoming, and this is loss. So some of you guys this week, you're overcoming loss. Chariot and the 5 of Cups energy. Some of you guys, it might be that you need to cancel a trip as well. 5 of Cups and the Chariot can be cancelling a trip. But also this week, some of you guys are overcoming loss. You're moving on probably from a couple of people. I'll explain it a couple of ways. You're either moving on potentially from a couple of old lovers, for example, overcoming loss, showing here, so you're getting better. It's showing in the cards also that you're overcoming stuff here, and you're getting better this week, coming Sagittarius. Some of you guys, you're encountering with the 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords means to encounter. All right, so you might be encountering a couple of new dudes as well, and this helps you overcome some loss of a previous relationship. Very, very, very good reading. Some of you guys, be careful you don't have any car trouble this week, all right? Might be that you have to contact a specialist, or you have to pay money out for some car trouble, for example, this week, okay? Some of you guys might be travelling north as well. I think King of Cups can represent north when it comes to travel and destinations. You might be travelling somewhere colder or somewhere north, for example, here. Okay. If that King of Pentacles in the first reading is somebody that you know, like literally an earth sign, this person might be arriving back. But it might be that you just decide no with the Five of Cups energy as well. Very interesting energies. And finally, we're going to get the final cards down. Any further advice for the week for you guys? If I can open up this bag. Okay, in 3 cards, any further advice for Sagittarians in this reading? Is there any further advice that you have for Sagittarians in 3 cards? Right, Rose. Right, romance is in the air. So indeed, it might be that you're encountering a couple of people, or one of these people is coming back. What's the other one? What's the other piece of advice that you have? Scissors, disappointment in some affair though. So romance is in the air, but you could have some disappointment in some form of an affair. It doesn't have to be love, it could be in something else. And what's the final piece of advice that you have for Sagittarians, 18th to the 24th of March? Parrot, someone will gossip about all your secrets. Okay, interesting. These can play out in a numerous amount of ways. So finally, final piece of advice for some of you Sagittarians, romance could be in the air this week. However, there could be some disappointment in some form of an affair, and also be careful because somebody might gossip about your secrets. So make sure that whoever you're telling shit to, make sure that you can trust them, okay? All right then, that's your reading, guys. Have a great week. If you'd like to order a personal reading with me, you can just click on the eye icon. It goes straight through to my website. Your month ahead reading for April is already up on the site as well. Just click next door and it's there. And I'll see you guys next week for another week ahead reading. Take care. Bye-bye.